Okay.
Hello, and welcome to Silicon Valley Girls Chat Over Tea. I'm Gloria.
And I'm Rosetta, and thanks everyone for tuning in to our chats again. And don't forget, if you love our chats, we would love it if you can actually hit the thumbs up to like it, subscribe below, and also hit that bell button so that you get notified whenever we have our chats so you don't miss them. And today we are drinking this tea. It's by Numi, organic tea. It's called Mate with creamy cacao, vital maca root, and mellow rooibos. And this it's not decaf, it says medium. So it's a herbal tea, but it's still medium caffeine, which is unusual because a lot of times herbal teas are decaf.
Right.
And the ingredients here are cacao, yerba mate, rooibos, ginger, licorice, lemon peel, maca, cardamom, coriander, black pepper. And have you noticed that it's got licorice? We've been drinking a lot of teas that have licorice lately.
Yes.
So I love that. And we have had this one before, I think once before. Yeah. We like it. So it's Numi, and it's called Mate. So we've had it steeping for a while. So we're going to take a sip.
Yes, we're going to check it out.
Yay!
Yes.
All right.
Wake it up. Wake it up.
Wakey, wakey. All right. Cheers. Oh, that's good.
Oh, it's good. And it's kind of cold and windy and a little rain outside. So this is wonderful.
Yeah, it started coming down buckets of rain, which was unexpected, but this is very nice on a cold, rainy day.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Great.
So I don't think anyone on planet Earth has not heard the devastating news related to the loss of life in Southern California on Sunday morning around 9:45 a.m. Kobe Bryant, a retired member of the Los Angeles Lakers, his daughter, and 7 other occupants of a helicopter were tragically killed during a tragic accident. I tell you, when I first heard the news, I was sad that Kobe Bryant had passed, and newscasters sometimes are so fast to rush because they want to get they want to have the I guess you would say the fame of being the first one.
First, yes.
That they don't always allow the situation to evolve to the point that it should be shared. So they said it was Kobe Bryant, and then about a half an hour, 45 minutes later, it was Kobe Bryant and his daughter Gigi. And then shortly thereafter, because they started out with, there were 5 individuals on the helicopter. Then they went from 5 to 7, and then they went from 7 to 9. And the sheriff's department kept saying to them, please allow the coroners to do their job, because you're scaring people with coming up with these numbers, and there's no validity to it. They hadn't had an opportunity to see, if anyone else was hurt, not just the people on the helicopter, if the helicopter had fallen on anyone, because the debris was split. The tail was on one side, and then the debris from the actual helicopter itself was on the other side. So it was very, very, very devastating. And, you think to yourself, what would you do? If you're on that plane, what would you do? Seconds. Did the father get to hold his child? Did he get to lock eyes? I'm a daddy's girl. And if my dad was moving before he passed, where are we going? So I love that Gigi and her father had that special relationship. And so I think that is amazing because, after Kobe retired, he stopped being all about basketball and the Lakers. And he shifted his attention to his daughter, who loved basketball. She loved basketball so much that when people would make comments to Kobe like, when are you going to get that boy? She would look at them and she'd go, I got this. That was her full intention. and he used to take her to women. I guess it's called the WBA, the Women Basketball Association, to different games. She had already started picking out the school that she wanted to play for. She got to meet the coach. She got to meet the team members. There was a game last night in which they had a chair, and they put a jersey on the chair with the number 2 and bouquet of flowers in the seat. That's where the sadness comes in, is the child and the children were not allowed to fulfill their dreams and their desires. Rosetta's going to kind of share with you, because, you know, everybody's talking about Kobe and Gigi because they are the ones that are most famous. However, there were other parents and children on that helicopter.
Yes, there were, and it's very tragic. There were 5 parents and 3 teenagers. Obviously, one of the teenagers was Gianna, but we want to, you know, recognize the others that were on the plane and mention them. There was a mother and daughter on the plane. The daughter was also into basketball. Their names were Sarah Chester and Peyton Chester. I believe Peyton was the daughter. Christina Musa, she was the assistant coach that Kobe Bryant had specifically picked to be the assistant coach for the Mamba girls basketball team.
Right.
And what's really sad is that he picked, well, the good thing was he picked her because of her sheer abilities and capabilities of coaching. But what's sad, the sad part is that she leaves behind her husband and 3 other kids. They're age 3, 9, and 11.
Yes.
And the other couple, I didn't quite get the name of the other couple, but there was a couple, and they were with their daughter. So I'm pretty sure the daughter as well was also on the basketball team.
Yes.
So very, very tragic. The pilot also passed away. I'm sure you've heard about this. But those lives of those young athletes that got their life taken away from them way too short. And as Gloria had mentioned, they're not able to fulfill their dreams.
Yes.
Their lives have been cut way too short.
Yes.
And we're going to talk more. We want really talk more about, there's been like speculations of how the plane crashed. But at this time, no one actually has any real concrete evidence.
Right.
But there are, you know, things about the weather. Is it the pilot himself? Was it the helicopter? Anything happened to the helicopter? Mechanical, or was it the weather? We don't know.
Right.
Nobody knows. And what they do know is that Gloria was telling me, and you can talk about that because I had not heard that on the news, about one civilian who talked about how he could see the plane.
Well, he actually couldn't see the plane.
Oh, he couldn't see the plane.
Yeah, what he said is that he could hear the helicopter. He couldn't see the helicopter. He said that the fog was thick as soup. And he said, if I couldn't see them, then they couldn't see me. So I am sure the investigation, you know, and it's a blessing and a curse. It's a blessing that it was a high-profile individual, because they will go that extra mile. Sure. They're going to turn over every rock. And it's also sad that it's a high-profile person. The other thing that I thought was very interesting about the whole process is when you fly on a commercial plane, they have those black boxes. And, you know, we're always hearing every time there's a crash, well, we're waiting for the black box.
We're trying to find the black box.
We got to find the black box. They did not have a black box on the helicopter. Apparently, it is not a requirement. What they said is the pilot had an iPad. And I was saying to Rosetta, what kind of Wi-Fi do you have with an iPad? That the iPad is your mode of communication.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I've been on a plane. And, you know, they'll say, there was a time when they would say you can turn on your cell phone or whatever.
Yes.
And you may or may not been able to get a signal. So I think that this is also going to bring a lot of information to the forefront. Maybe anything that flies should have a black
Have
box.
a black box, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm hoping that something, good and positive will come out of this. I know that people's hearts are very, very heavy. And one of the things that's been interesting to me and Rosetta is we have learned many more things. I knew Kobe Bryant as a basketball player. I knew of Kobe and Shaq.
Yes.
They were the dynamic duo. I loved watching them play basketball together. So I am positive that Shaq is devastated because they were always together. There was a post from Shaq, there was a post from LeBron James, and they both commented that Gigi was their niece, which implies that Kobe was their brother. I'm always talking to people about how family doesn't have to necessarily be someone you're born to.
Or blood related.
Or blood related. Family is individuals that you build relationships with, and they're to the level that this is way beyond a friendship. This is my brother, this is my sister. And so as this continues, I'm sure lots of people will share more expressions of what's going on in their life. I also learned a lot of things about Kobe that I didn't know.
Yep.
Now, I knew that his dad played basketball, and his dad was, they used to travel a lot. Kobe loved soccer. I didn't know that.
No, we didn't know that. I'm sure a lot of people don't know that, and now you do.
Yeah, and so now we do. And, he spoke 3 languages fluent, and he was always learning. A lot of people might not know this. Kobe went straight out of high school at 17 to become a professional basketball player. He didn't go to college in the traditional manner. He went straight into basketball. And his mission in life was to be as good as, if not better than, the one and only Michael Jordan. So some of the things that I learned is he would practice every day. So he would get in the morning and he would shoot 500 baskets. And then he would go and do his day. And before he went to bed, he would do another 500. He did 1,000 baskets a day.
Wow. We did not.
Yeah. And people were talking about his dedication. I mean, to me, that's dedication.
He would train all the time.
Yeah.
In season, off season, he was very dedicated.
Yes.
And then you talk about him being able to speak 3 languages. I mean, who would have guessed?
Yes. Well, because his dad had the family in Italy for a number of years, I knew he spoke Italian.
Right.
And then they were showing cameos of him speaking Spanish. And the last language that he learned was Mandarin.
Oh, wow.
I mean, those languages are nothing like each other. So
they're so different.
Very.
But the 3 languages that he learned are very, very beneficial in today. Like Mandarin, you do business with that.
Yes.
Spanish.
Yes.
He lived in Southern California.
Yes.
How many people speak Spanish in Southern California? Italian. We have a ton of people from Italy.
Yes.
Wow.
I mean, I think that's just beautiful. And the only thing I hope is that his kids got into it and they are also multilingual, because that to me is just amazing.
That really is amazing. And for you to learn those languages later in life,
yes,
it's not an easy task.
Yes.
Because I've tried and it's not easy.
No, it's not. I had a meeting a little earlier today, and there was a lady in the room, and she was French. And I'm sitting there and I'm just looking at her, and I know she's like, what's wrong with this woman? And I'm like, I love French. I used to speak French. I took 3 years of French in school, and so she said to me in French, do you understand what I'm saying? And I was like, oui. And she goes, okay, from now on, when I see you, we're only going to talk French.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, okay, I'm going to have to get me a online French tutorial, or maybe I'll find that little app that the little girl during the Christmas holiday season, where she has the I think it's a Microsoft laptop, and her father or mom is using it for a business meeting so that they can, understand the conversation that's not in English. And she takes that little thing and she points it to the reindeer. And before that, she says, "Do you understand what I'm saying?" And then, the reindeers grunted, and then she goes, "Okay, I got some questions for you. Where's Santa? Does Santa fly? Do you fly with Santa?" I mean, could you imagine how easier communication would be if we could all understand each other, regardless of language?
Yeah, sure, it would be.
Yeah, so I'm sure, because Kobe was a businessman, my heart just goes out to his beautiful wife.
His wife and the surviving daughters, children, yes.
Yeah, because he had so many irons in the fire. A lot of you might not know this, but in 2018, he submitted one of those little short films. He had written, I think it first started out as a poem, and then it went into a little book about his love of basketball. So he wrote this love letter to basketball. And then a gentleman took that and made caricatures of Kobe in his little, jersey playing basketball. They won an Oscar.
And I did not know that until they mentioned it. And these are all, it's kind of sad that you don't know these things until something tragic happens.
Yeah.
All these things come into light.
Yes.
It's like amazing what lives these like celebrities lead.
Yes.
But he was an icon. He really was.
And I am sure that all the people who are, running up to say, "I love you, my brother. I'm going to miss you. I got you. I got the kids. I got Vanessa. I got it." I hope they all do show up and surround her, because the business world is not always that loving and kind. It is more of a kill or be killed kind of mentality. And people will try and take advantage.
And it's still in the business world, a man's world.
Yeah.
Sorry to say, that's very sad.
So she is going to have the love and support of a lot of people, because, he was also doing a lot of work around homelessness, because California is facing such a very devastating situation with homelessness, northern and southern.
It's a crisis.
It really is.
Yeah.
And he was trying to work within the community to figure out things that they could put in place to help people.
Sure.
And, so she's got that. Then she's got the Mamba, I guess you call it the Mamba basketball camp, and all of that. It's a lot.
She's going to have probably close friends and relatives. They're probably going to help out
and surround her and protect her from all of this. So it has just been very eye-opening. And the one thing that a lot of people are saying is just tell the people that you love them. There's nothing that says that, tomorrow I can, I'm going to get up and everything's going to be great. I always think about that when I think about the chaos that's going on in our country's government right now. There are individuals who feel that they are so powerful they can do whatever they want. They don't care about the law. They don't care about the, raising your hand and saying, "I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America." They are all about the greed. There's nothing that says you're going to wake up the next day. And I think everybody should just take a pause and just imagine if this had happened to you. You have family, you have children, there's this movie, I'm trying to think, it's a movie and it's about the presidency of the United States. Kevin, I think his name is Kevin Kline, is the gentleman that they hire to replace the president.
Oh, I think I know the one I don't know the name of it.
Yes, I can't think of the name either.
Yes.
In this movie, what happens is this guy in his real life ran a temp agency. And when he was put in the position to be the president, at a certain point, he thinks to himself, if I'm going to be in this job, I want to do something. And he does, I don't know if it was the speech that the president typically gives to Congress, but he is in front of Congress and he's talking. I think it was related to an investigation. And one of the statements he makes is that I forgot that this was a temp job. We have people in positions who think that this is permanent, and they need to be reinforced that this is a temp job, because tomorrow is not promised. So my prayer to all women, no disrespect, men, all moms who hear my voice, please vote. It is time for women to show up in the world. We do not have to be taken care of. You know, I'm sure Vanessa never thought this tragedy would be in front of her. And now she has to step up because she has 3 daughters that she has to take care of. And she has to get them up, get them dressed, get them to school. You know, yeah, it's a tragedy. Life will go on.
But it's just very hard. It's very different when you have, yes, they will have their mother.
Yeah.
But you need that father figure.
Yes.
In that family's, in the household, because
Yes.
you need both perspectives of the male and female role.
Yeah.
In order to grow up as a productive citizen. I mean,
Yes.
I'm sure Vanessa can do a great job.
Yeah.
But deep down inside those children's hearts, they're going to be missing something.
Oh, yeah.
There's nothing like the dad's love.
Oh, I know. And
Yeah.
daddy's girl that I am, there's nothing like it. And everyone's talking about Gigi right now. However, there's a 17-year-old, the first daughter.
Yes.
I am sure she is equally as devastated at the loss of her dad and her sister. And then the babies, you know.
I mean, they probably won't be as affected
Right.
as deeply as the other two. However, they will understand as they get older something
Yes.
is missing.
Yes.
Like, where's my dad?
And they'll see pictures.
Yeah, they'll
They'll
see pictures.
You know, because there are pictures of Kobe with all 4 girls and mom. So these pictures, I mean, and if we see them out here, you can imagine the pictures inside the house.
Sure.
So with all of this that's going on, it is just, you know, it's time. Do you really, you know, and this is not specific to Kobe, but this is something I think moms should hear. Do you really want your child to go to war? Do you really want your child to be forced to register, to go in the armed forces when they're 17 years old? If you don't, you have to start voting, because we have to shift this. The reason that Kobe was in the helicopter is one time he was trying to get to one of his child's event. And because of LA traffic, and honey, you have to pray a lot when you're on the 405, because a 10-minute ride will take you 45 minutes.
Horrible. Enough
traffic.
Stress is beyond the yin yang.
Yes. I mean, there's no woo-saw you can do. So he started traveling by helicopter. He used to do this going to his games, going and coming home. I have seen Beyonce, Jay-Z in helicopters traveling. A lot of people that we know and love are in helicopters. So you just don't know. So make sure that you tell the people how much you care about them when you're given the opportunity. 2 people, lots of people are doing dedications. There are 2 individuals that really touched Rosetta and I.
Yes.
One is Ellen DeGeneres.
We love our Ellen.
Yes. And the other was Jimmy Kimball.
Yes.
So yesterday's Ellen show was recorded on Friday. So it didn't show Ellen being sad. Because I watched a little of it and I was like, okay, this has to be a recording, because I know how much she cared for him,
Yes, she did.
Vanessa, and the kids. So today's Ellen is going to show you this, and you will be able to see the devastation that she felt. And Ellen, you know, she always tells everybody at the end of her show to be kind to one another. And she said, you need to stop and take a moment and just tell the people that you love them.
And you don't need a celebration like a birthday to celebrate your life. You need to celebrate people's lives every day. Tell people every day. And that, this whole incident with Kobe really got me thinking about that and how we really do need to, not just because people say it.
Right.
But because we really do need to say, we love you, show how much we love them. Praise people and say you're appreciated.
Yes.
We love you. I understand how much you mean to me.
Yes.
Because as people say, and as people watching, tomorrow is not a given.
No.
Nothing.
Who would have thought we woke up Sunday to this? Who would have ever thought in 2020 an accident of this magnitude could have happened?
And I didn't even believe it when I heard it, because my son came out of his bedroom and said, "Hey, did you hear that Kobe Bryant died?" And I'm like, "What?" I mean, I couldn't. It was kind of surreal. I couldn't quite comprehend it. How? Where? When? What?
What was he doing? Where could he have been that this happened?
Yeah, so that's when I decided to Google it and learn the truth myself.
Yes.
And that's when I found out, yes, he's been reported in a helicopter, and that's when I found out. So, yeah, and Ellen was very, very emotional.
Yes.
I mean, she
She's
said it
devastated.
was. She said it was her birthday on Sunday, and it was the Grammys. And Ellen's so funny. I mean, being a comedian, even though it's no small thing to laugh about Kobe, it's not. Right. But she always has to put in her little laugh about how she didn't win the Grammys. Yeah. She didn't win in her category for Grammys.
Because she was having a hard time breathing and talking. So she was trying to, lighten it up a little bit. She went as far as to give the guest birthday presents. So what she did is she gave a $500 gift card to Uber Eats. She gave a $250 Ed by Ellen gift card. She gave every person in the audience a purple bed, and it's the new bed with the special cooling, and it's supposed to be ergonomically firm or soft, whatever you love, and a 65-inch TLC Roku television, because she wanted everybody to be uplifted and to feel joy. Because let me tell you, LA is sad. It is sad down there. I mean, to watch all those people in front of the Staples Center and they're chanting his name, because they love him. And, they had the jerseys and they lit the jerseys up. I think he's one of the only players to ever have 2 professional jerseys.
I think he is. And the other thing that's going to be really sad about Kobe, he's going to be inducted to the Hall of Fame. Yes. And he's not going to be able to go.
Yeah.
He will not be
So, this situation is not going to be over today. And Jimmy Kimball and Kobe, he was always on his show. And I think they said that one of them, either Ellen or Jimmy Kimball, he had been on the show over 15 times. And what Jimmy Kimball did last night is he had no audience. And he showcased conversations, people interacting with Kobe on the set. I can't think of his little guy's name. Is it Guillermo?
Guillermo, yes. Guillermo, yes.
There was a scene where they were talking and he was like kind of lifting himself up like to be as tall as him to take a picture. I mean, just the cutest little things.
I did not see that. I'll have to look for it and watch it.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, and Jimmy Kimball, this is the second time I've seen him emotional. The first time was when his baby was sick.
Yes, when his baby was sick. Yeah.
And last night he was very emotional. So all we can say is please tell the people that you love them. Please stop waiting for tomorrow for something to happen. If you like the way the world is going right now and you're happy, okay. If you think, I want more love, I want more compassion, I want more gratitude in my life, then it's time to step out of your comfort zone and let's change this planet. I always thought to myself, when you talk about like the Amazons, the women.
Right.
But they didn't have all these issues because most of the time, women are not ego-driven. We are all about the inclusivity. How, Rosetta's got one, and if I want one, how do I get one? Mm-hmm. Hey, girl, how'd you do that?
Right.
We're not, well, I have to kill her to get it. That's just not how we're made up.
Well, women we're very different because we really consider how other people feel.
Yeah.
We're all about the emotional side. We have that nurturing nature, so we're always thinking about other people.
Yeah. Name of my company. Nurturing
Naturals. Yes, yes, yes.
So thank you all very much for hanging in here with us. It was very, very emotional for both of us to talk about this. However, we thought it was important. You know, one of the things that we both want to do is grow up and be Ellen one day. Can you imagine how full her heart is every day after she does her show?
To have that status that she is at, everybody loves her, and to be able to give back to everyday civilians, that's something that I can only imagine. I don't even know.
She changes lives every day.
I mean, just to make people happy.
Yes.
And joyful must be so important. And as she always says at the end of a show, be kind to one another.
Yes.
Be kind to one another. And today I want to say I love you to the people that are closest to you.
Yes.
Don't take them for granted, because tomorrow is unknown.
Yes.
The only thing we know is the present.
Absolutely.
Tomorrow is unknown. So everyone, thank you so much for tuning into our chat. And let's keep Kobe in our prayers and his family in our prayers in our heart. You will not be forgotten.
Yes.
And don't forget
all the other people on the plane, on the helicopter.
On the plane as well.
Everybody.
Everyone.
Yes.
A lot of people were touched by that, not just Kobe's family.
Yes.
Yes. So everyone, please, again, if you like our chats, don't forget to hit the thumbs up, to like it, subscribe, and yada yada, you know the usual, to get the notifications. I don't want to go into detail, but we hear about Kobe, and we're just really grateful that you could tune in.
Yes.
Thanks a lot. And remember
to
always keep smiling. Bye now. Take care.
God bless you all.